Goodbye.
This is the BBC World Service. In the 1940s, the instructions for some Japanese pilots were very clear.
The Kamikaze Pilot's Manual. Upon sighting a target, go full speed ahead. It is essential not to shut your eyes for a moment. Remember to shout at the top of your lungs, Hisatsu. Sink without fail.
The Last Kamikazes at bbcworldservice.com. You're listening to the BBC World Service.
Our diplomatic correspondent James Landell was at the court to hear.
As our defence correspondent Jonathan Beale reports from Mosul.
Our Africa editor Mary Harper reports.
Let's go to Hong Kong now. Time for business news. On our business desk is Andrew Wood.
Available on the BBC iPlayer radio app. This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
10 a.m. in London, 5 a.m. in Washington, 1 p.m. in Nairobi. This is Dan Damon at the BBC. Vietnam's hosting the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Trade Summit, or APEC, where President Trump and President Xi are laying out competing visions for global trade. Some believe they can exploit that.
The US and China are both powerful countries, but they are also locked in conflict. They both want to drag Vietnam to their side, and Vietnam should take advantage of that.
Pressure's mounting on Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore to step aside over allegations in the Washington Post of sexual misconduct, and a sound not heard for 2,000 years. That's an aulos, an ancient Greek instrument, remade, reproducing one that's been hanging in the Louvre. That's after the latest world news.
Hello, I'm Jerry Smith with the BBC News. President Trump has made a hard-hitting speech at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Vietnam, saying the US will not be taken advantage of anymore. Ali Maqbool is at the meeting.
Having been a polite guest in Beijing, levelling no criticism against the country's leadership, Donald Trump's come to this summit in Vietnam with a much tougher message for China, albeit focused on trade. Without specifically naming the country, it's clear his tirade against the use of unfair trading practices was directed at Beijing. From now on, he said, the US would not be taken advantage of anymore. Gone was the insistence on adopting American values in their societies that previous US presidents have come to Asia with. But this was the kind of America First message his supporters back home would have been wanting to hear.
In stark contrast to his US counterpart, the Chinese President Xi Jinping told the summit that globalization was irreversible, but must now become more balanced.
We are seeking a profound change in economic globalization. Over the last few decades, it has contributed significantly to global growth. But in pursuing economic globalization, we should make it more open, more inclusive, more balanced, more equitable, and more beneficial to all.
Promoting China as the champion of free trade, Mr. Xi said Beijing would significantly ease market access restrictions and treat all foreign businesses in the country as equals. He also said the Asia-Pacific region must uphold multilateralism. China has been calling for an alternative free trade agreement after Washington withdrew from the Trans-Pacific Partnership last year. Pressure is mounting on the Republican politician Roy Moore to abandon efforts to represent Alabama in the US Senate after he was accused of sexual misconduct with a child in the 1970s. This report from John Sopel.
If these allegations are true, was the caveat that an awful lot of Republican senators have given, but then very quickly gone on to say that Roy Moore should step aside if they are proven. One has come out and said, actually, he should just step aside for the sake of the Republican Party. He shows no sign of doing that, and he's put out a statement saying these allegations are completely false and are a desperate political attack by the National Democrat Party and the Washington Post on this campaign.
The authorities in Papua New Guinea have started to dismantle makeshift shelters at an Australian offshore detention centre hours before a deadline for refugees to leave or be forcibly moved. Police also destroyed rubbish bins used to store water. A few asylum seekers have reportedly already left. Australia's Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has called on 600 men refusing to leave the facility on Manus Island to go before Saturday, or they will be forcibly moved. The refugees say they fear being attacked by local residents if they do. The centre was officially closed 10 days ago. News from the BBC. Turkish police in Istanbul have arrested 82 foreigners suspected of having links to the Islamic State group and planning to travel to Syria. Local media say the detainees had previously been involved with IS in conflict zones. Since August, nearly 1,000 IS suspects have been arrested in more than 100 counter-terrorism raids by Turkish police. The British Prime Minister Theresa May has warned potential rebels in the governing Conservative Party that she will not tolerate any attempt to block Britain's departure from the European Union. In a sign of her intent, she's outlined plans to set in law the date that Britain will leave, on the 29th of March 2019. The Federation of German Industries said on Friday that it was unlikely Britain and the EU would reach a comprehensive deal by that date. Debate is continuing in the Indian capital Delhi about how to tackle the toxic smog which is engulfing the area for a fourth consecutive day. Weather conditions and crop burning in neighbouring states are also blamed as contributory factors. Here's Jill McGivering.
Delhi residents say visibility is marginally better, but pollutants are still many times higher than recommended health levels. There's growing anger about the misery caused by the toxic smog and pressure on politicians to act. On Thursday, Delhi's Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal, announced an emergency measure to reduce traffic, an odd-even scheme based on registration numbers. But it's unclear how effective that will be and whether public transport will cope with demand. Crop burning is also seen as a factor, but there's no political agreement yet on ending that.
The Japanese manufacturer Kobe Steel has blamed a lack of controls and a focus on profits for the data falsification scandal that's affected customers across the world. In October, the company, Japan's third-largest steel manufacturer, admitted that staff had manipulated product specifications for at least 10 years. BBC News.
Hello, you're listening to World Update from the BBC in London. This is Dan Damon. It's Friday. We'll have our feature. This week, a remarkable diary. It details the lead-up to Mussolini taking Italy into World War II.
The train is full of fat, middle-aged, black-shirted fascists, and she finds herself in this railway carriage with lots of sort of stout, unimpressive
Welcome.
Shopkeepers, fathers of families. They're very polite to her.
Welcome.
She pities them.
As the stories told by Iris Origo. We'll speak to her granddaughter and to a historian that can tell us about that period. That's the feature coming later. Let's come back up to date. And President Trump's been making a hard-hitting speech at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, APEC, in Vietnam. He's told assembled business leaders and political leaders that the U.S. will not be taken advantage of anymore.
The current trade imbalance is not acceptable. I do not blame China or any other country, of which there are many, for taking advantage of the United States on trade. If their representatives are able to get away with it, they are just doing their jobs. I wish previous administrations in my country saw what was happening and did something about it. They did not, but I will. From this day forward, we will compete on a fair and equal basis. We are not going to let the United States be taken advantage of anymore. I am always going to put America first, the same way that I expect all of you in this room to put your countries first.
Donald Trump speaking in Vietnam. Celia Hatton is here. She's our Asia-Pacific editor. What's the impact of those words? All right, we can hear the rhetoric. It's not unexpected. But what change does it really mean?
Well, it basically signals that Donald Trump is going to continue with the promises that he made on the campaign trail. He had said all along that he didn't like these massive multilateral free trade agreements, that he thought that the United States got a raw deal. All along, he's been frustrated with the size of the U.S. trade deficit, not just with China, but with other countries in the region, with Thailand, with Vietnam. And so he's been kind of hammering at the same point for quite a long time. And this speech really was a continuance of that. It didn't start a new chapter really for Donald Trump. This is really something that he's really held dear to him. He's signaled all along that he wants to negotiate new bilateral trade agreements with a slew of countries in the Asia-Pacific region.
Does that mean protectionism? Because if you're doing trade with countries that are producing cheaper and producing the kind of things that people want to buy in the United States, how do you deal with that unless you put up the barriers?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, he has said, and he did say in this speech today, that we have to ensure that all play by the rules. So he's kind of, a little bit of mixed messages here, because he's saying that he doesn't blame other countries for taking advantage, as he says, of the United States. He blames past administrations, but he does say that he wants other countries to play by the rules. And I think that he's trying to also put some blame onto those countries, I think, for what he says is for those trade deficits.
Well, one of the things he did very early in his tenure in the White House was to withdraw from the Trans-Pacific Partnership. There were 12. There are now 11 members without the U.S. who are trying to keep it alive. What's happening there?
Well, we are also getting mixed messages out of the countries involved in the TPP. You're right. Donald Trump withdrew on his third day in office, and he really disappointed a lot of his key allies in Asia-Pacific, and primarily Japan. Shinzo Abe, the Japanese Prime Minister, has really made continuing with the TPP a real a center point of his continuing administration, and he's really the one who's trying to keep this alive. Now, one Japanese official said that the remaining 11 countries had come to an agreement in principle to continue negotiating, to continue to uphold what they had come to agree with the TPP. However, we are hearing other messages, primarily from the Canadian side, saying no, that hasn't been agreed. And there have been reports that the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, did not show up to meetings to discuss the TPP at the APEC summit. So really, it looks like the TPP is floundering. And that has opened the door, of course, for Beijing to step in and negotiate a free trade agreement of its own.
Thanks very much indeed, Celia Hatton, our Asia-Pacific editor.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Are you looking for a job as a general nurse, theatre nurse, ODPS, community nurse, healthcare assistant, mental health nurses, midwives, sterile services, domiciliary services? Then look no further. Bright Stars Plus Healthcare Agency have vacancies with good pay rates at London, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, Cambridge, South England, West Midlands, Sussex and North of England. To apply, visit www.brightstarplus.com or you can call us on 073 890 64632. The number again, 073 890 64632. Or email info@brightstarplus.com. Bright Star Plus, the best in recruitment.
Iowa Life Family Ministries Croydon invites you, your friends and loved ones to our annual 3 weeks Fresh Fire Conference 2017. The theme is Let the Fire Fall. Our key scripture is 1 Kings chapter 18 verses 21 to 39. From Monday 30th of October to Sunday 19th of October. The time is from Monday to Saturday 6:30 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. and Sundays 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Our venue is the Dream Centre, 68 Windmill Road, Croydon, CR02XP. Our speakers include host Apostle and Reverend Mrs. Bruce, Dr. Charles Tamaclo, Apostle Anthony O'Banahini, Pastor Julius Darke, and a lot more. Come for the flame of our destiny and get ready for the fresh fire, word and oil.
Provides affordable, high-quality after-sales service to Bentley and crew-built Rolls-Royce cars, charging only 60% of main dealer labour rates. We offer health checks, servicing, diagnostics, air conditioning servicing, four-wheel alignment, pre-purchase inspections, brake repairs, engine removal repairs, and dent repairs. We're a team of highly skilled engineers. David Prasad was employed at Jack Barclay for over 27 years. At the Prasad's Automotive, we have the knowledge, experience and facilities that equip us to deliver excellence and quality to our clients at a personal level.
Lord, I need you.
Hi, my name is Captain Tete. Join me this and every Saturday from 4 p.m. as we delve deeper into today's miracle healing with my guest on Star Radio UK.
I was in a tunnel and couldn't see the light.
Oh, nah, not again, not again. I've been duped.
Hello, Kweku. How long will you continue to fall for these unscrupulous landowners? This is the second time, huh? Do you want a hassle-free, litigation-free life when it comes to owning a property in Ghana? Look no further. Royal Valley Estates, RVE, is your answer. RVE is located at Bawaleshi near Valley View University on the Adenta to Dodowa Highway, Accra, Ghana. RVE is a gated community with 24-hour security. 300 houses will be constructed at RVE, comprising of 3-bedroom, semi-detached and 3-bedroom detached houses. The plot sizes at RVE are generous. Mortgages and flexible payment options available to qualified applicants. Rush now and own a house in Ghana. For more information, contact Pastor Joe Kissinger Anoche on 0790-479-3019. You can also contact Reverend Francis Nunu on 0744-049-4271 and also on 0744-8054-930. You can also email him at fs.nunu@gmail.com. You can also visit us at www.royalvalleyestates.gh.com. RVE, a place you can call home.
Bed of Roses, Bed of Roses, Bed of Roses. Voices of Esther brings you Bed of Roses this and every Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Join our panel of experts to discuss issues within your relationships. Hosted by Doreen, you will be motivated and equipped to handle issues within your relationships. Remember, it is Saturday at 9:30 p.m. GMT. Don't miss it.
Lay you down on a bed of roses. Nobody does it better. You are a star, my shining star. You are my star.
Welcome.
I will never last a day when you take your love away forever. I'm yours and ever. I want your love, 'cause you.
Yes. Good morning, and thank you for staying tuned to Star Radio. Time check from our studio is exactly 18 minutes per the hour of 10. That's the UK time. And we welcome you to Star Radio UK. Your finest, your favorite, your leading African and Caribbean radio station in the UK. I say good morning to you, Malek. Good morning to you, Kweku Brechuba. Good morning to you, Kofi Ale. Good morning, Titi. Good morning. Kwame Tiseng.
Romantic, and she loves no one but I.
Be Black all the way down the I say good morning to you this morning. Irala say good morning. Queensla, good morning. Grace Belafonte, good morning to you. I look forward to your event on the 18th, the launch of Grace Belafonte Ministry. Especially the other way in Ghana, Edem, I say good morning to you. The lovely princess Sarah, I say good morning. Grace is saying. Yes, my name is Frank Davis and I'll be sitting in for your usual host. Archie Hartmont, good morning to you, and Mama Lotte, good morning to you. Archie's on errands, that to make sure we bring you the best of programs right here on Star Radio. So today I'm going to be your driver, and by way of program outline, we're going to go to the weather, the travel update as our first Londoners, and then we'll run through the news making the headlines in the UK, through the EU, right down to the Americans, to the Caribbean, the Middle East. And we touch on the beautiful and the most beautiful continent of Africa. And we zero it down finally on the first country within that continent to attain independence. So that's if I take Liberia out, which was made in which came together in 1874. But this morning, I also have news from Liberia. We actually sent an email to the presidency. They have refused to respond to that email. And I'll tell you the details of what we sent to them, and we'll be putting it on our pages. It all has to do with Paradise Papers. We asked the question, Selef Johnson, was she a Ghanaian at the time of taking the oath to be the president of Liberia?
Girl, that's how sweet you are. Ain't nobody in the whole world like you.
This program, as usual, today being the Friday. Thank God it's Friday. We finish at 1 o'clock.
Hello, it's magic. So
at 11 o'clock, we're going to cross over to Nigeria. I also want to say very, very good morning to Mr. Adibayo Johnson all the way in Sierra Leone, Tito all the way in Ghana, Rastunto all the way in the US, Terry all the way in Russia, Colin in China, Mr. Timber all the way in Zimbabwe. We're likely to have him here next week, Tuesday, on a Big Questions program. To Dr. Kwanga all the way in the US, you just arrived from Nigeria, the leader of the Southern Cameroonian Revolutionary Wing, or the ambassador of that country, so to say, the leader of the Youth League. You just arrived from Nigeria, went to your place to find out how your people are doing. We say welcome back and good morning to you. But wherever you are, I just want to say hello to you. It could be morning, it could be afternoon. I'm going to just say good morning to you, and also to say, hey, big
welcome. Welcome.
Yes, so big welcome to you all for joining me. Please, if you actually on Facebook, on YouTube, and watching us live on Smart View TV, please tell a friend to tell a friend. But on Facebook, please do us a favor and share. Click on that share button, share on your pages, in your groups, and on your timelines. Please do us that favor. That's what we can ask for you. It's good to share, so share with your friends and family. Now, we're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, Smart View TV, And by next week, the TV section of our programming, we will be streaming live on our dedicated apps. On our dedicated app. If you haven't got the app yet, it's actually a whole console, a whole studio in your palms. You can actually click a button there and you'll be in touch with us. You can send your comment. You can join the chat room right over there. While the discussions are going on, you are also taking part over there. We are also live on Twitch. We are live on Daily Motion. We are live on Z Live. We are live on Streamer as we speak. If you're on Smart View TV and you're watching us live, thank you very much for joining us. Pick a phone and tell a friend how to join or how to listen to the leading, the award-winning. Within the last 3 years, we've won. Within the last 2 years, I mean, we are no more than 2 years. Basically, how many months? 18 months, and we've won 3 awards. It's all about down to the presenters, the content of what we bring over here. Our mission is simple: to amplify each good voice within the African and the Caribbean community. We might not be doing 100%, we might not deliver what satisfies all of you, but we're doing our best and we're just going to improve. To all the presenters of Starr Radio, I say good morning and special morning. Let's kickstart our program. We're going to go for the quote of the day, which I think speaks a lot. Reverend Apostle Bruce, I say good morning to you. Dr. Bako, all the way who has just arrived from Hong Kong, I say good morning. Special good morning to you, Pastor Nana. Praise and appreciation need not be reserved for big things. In fact, it's good to concentrate on the little things because those are what often go unnoticed. I'll tell you that quote again. Praise and appreciation need not be reserved for big things. In fact, it's good to concentrate on the little things because those are what often go unnoticed. I 100% agree with this quote. I don't know what you think and I don't know what you feel about. But again, our phone line 020-8133-2257, 020-8133-2258. You can join us anytime. Our WhatsApp line 07539661744. That's 07939661744. If you're actually going to contact us outside the United Kingdom, please preface that number with 0044. On Twitter, we're at Starr Radio, where you can also watch us live, and Periscope, you can also watch us live as the program comes and goes on. Our email is info@starradio. You can send us your WhatsApp comments. You can leave your comments on Facebook, and we will read them. I agree 100% with that quote. The little things sometimes goes unnoticed, but they make a difference. Can you imagine having a big car? The little bolts and the nuts that you do not recognize. You see a big car like that, they are little. I've got my car down now. What is causing the problem, which I've ordered, is just a very simple tube. Simple tube. I can't drive my car because of that simple tube. Little as it is, it's affecting a whole 4-wheel drive, and I can't move just because of that little tube. Just little tube. The little things do make the difference. Someone might have done something. The little that the thought of it is what we should appreciate first before we look at the quantity and the magnitude of what is being done. So I 100% agree with that quote. We're going to go straight to our weather update. Let me go quickly to our weather. We'll come to the travel, then we'll take our first music break. We'll take our first music break, which I promise you, today is Friday, so expect nothing but the best from us. Weather update. London, we're going to have the highest being 13. The lowest in the UK, we're going to have lower, which is going to be 4. Currently, as we speak, the temperatures in London is 13. The lowest in the night will go to 6, and tomorrow in London we're going to have 13. Generally, we're going to have a bit of early clouds and patchy rain in the south, and soon clearly leaving sunny spots. So we're going to see a bit of sun. But again, you know what? London weather or UK weather is one weather that I do not trust. You see the sun coming up, but what you feel in your body is so cold. So please, wherever you're going, wrap yourself up. We're actually heading into winter in full swing. So that's what that's going to be the weather for the day. I hope you keep yourself warm. You keep yourself, and the coldest spot again, we're going to have Venom. I know most of you don't live over there. That is 10%. That's why we're going to have those are coldest spot that I know most of them don't live over there. So let's quickly go to the travel updates and look at what is happening. Travel update, and we come to our first music, and then I have some breaking news that is coming that I'm going to bring your way, and you're going to hear first time on this platform just because you tune into the best in Afro-Caribbean radio station in the UK. All the way in Barbados, Queen Alicia, I know you arrived safely yesterday night, and I know you logged on tuning to us live right now, and I say good morning to all our family and friends in Barbados. Hi to all of you. On the tram that is applying the southern part of London, Croydon, Beckenham, Wimbledon to Addington area, we have a bit of minor delays. Apart from that, all the underground lines, good service on all the underground lines. Let's go to buses and see what is happening. So far, so good services. River boats, that is the river bus, good service. Let's say the cable line, also good service. Today we having a very good National Rail. That's where we got a bit of problem. The Thames Link has a bit of minor delays. London Midland also minor delays. Let me say cross country, Great Western Railway, Northern Rail, London Midland, they also have slight delays. But the following lines have very severe delays. Great Anglia. So if you from Barking area trying to head towards the Kent area, you need to plan yourself and your journey. Plan well ahead of time, because Anglia is having very severe delays. That's where we end our travel and weather updates. What do I have for you? I have some music that I know a lot of Africans enjoy. Caribbeans also enjoy. It's between samba and a bit of high beats of Afrobeat. So let me go for it. It's an old tune, but I know all the same you will love it. To my friend Francine all the way in Cambridge, I hope you're doing very, very well. Listener, very shortly and pretty soon, hopefully from next week, we're going to be taking live reports from Congo. Something is happening in Congo and the world needs to know, and we're going to be taking live reports over there pretty shortly. So this is a song coming from Niue. I hope you enjoy it.
This is Starr Radio UK. Radio UK.
So once again, welcome all of you to Starr Radio UK, the morning show. The 10th of November, 2017, the year of our Lord. My name once again is Frank Davis, and I'm sitting in for Archie, who can't make it because he's on a very important errand to help bring the best of the programming to you. Like I said before, at exactly 11 o'clock, we'll be crossing over all the way to Lagos to join live report from Nigeria. Oh, Eugenia, I've just received your message. You said you're watching us on Smart View TV. Thank you very much for joining us live over there. Please download our app as well. This program comes your way every weekday from the hour of 10 p.m. Oh, 10 a.m. Sorry, my apologies. You see, I can't wait because I have a meeting at 10 p.m.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Hi, my name is Captain Tete. Join me this and every Saturday from 4 p.m. as we delve deeper into today's miracle healing with my guest on Starr Radio UK.
Bible Life Family Ministries, Croydon, invites you, your friends and loved ones to our annual 3 weeks Fresh Fire Conference 2017. The theme is Let the Fire Fall. Our key scripture is 1 Kings chapter 18 verses 21 to 39. From Monday 30th of October to Sunday 19th of October. The time is from Monday to Saturday 6:30 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. and Sundays 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Our venue is the Dream Centre, 68 Windmill Road, Croydon, CR02XP. Our speakers include host Apostle and Reverend Mrs. Bruce, Dr. Charles Tamaclo, Apostle Anthony O. Banahini, Pastor Julius Darke, and a lot more. Come for the flame of our destiny and get ready for the fresh fire, word, and oil.
Welcome.
Yes, let's go straight to our news items now. We start from the UK. Time checks exactly 39 minutes by the hour of 10. Like I pre-informed you, at 11 o'clock we'll be crossing over to Nigeria, where we're going to be having our correspondent giving us a news update all the way from Nigeria. Very soon we're also going to be crossing over from next week to Sierra Leone, where we'll be giving you news updates, and also to Ghana, where our correspondents on the ground will be giving you live feeds of news that you're not going to get on any portal, grassroots reporting. If you are based in any country and you'd like to be part of this revolution global team, because we're launching a new program which is going to come your way every weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 before Archie comes on the morning show. We're going to be doing Daybreak Africa in the Caribbean, where we go to different countries. Barbados, as we earlier informed you, we have our sister who is already over there working to make that a reality. So we're going to be doing our best to bring you news items that you will not get on any website. It's generated here first. So do whatever you can to download our app. It's Starr Radio UK. Stay tuned to it. I mean, it's free. I mean, go to the App Store and just type in with a double R, with a double R, not Starr FM, Starr Radio UK, and you should be able to follow us live each time. Okay, now let's kickstart from the UK. The Prime Minister has warned those who might try to derail the Brexit process. I think the Brexit is not something that would like to talk about into details for now. But she is saying that the date that has been set for Britain to come out is cast in stone. It's actually enshrined in law because Article 50 has been triggered. The law that gives her and the cabinet the power to negotiate on Britain has actually been firmed up, and the date for exit is actually irrevocable. We can't do anything about it. It is on the 29th of March 2019 at exactly 11 p.m. Britain will be declared a non-EU country. So that's what she's saying. In a related development on the Brexit issue, the former Chancellor of the Exchequer and the Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, has warned that the UK may hit a crisis point next summer as the UK edges closer to Brexit, and heard out the possibility that the UK may not leave the UK. So there are still people who are still optimistic that, hey, all this noise that we're making about Brexit, that leaving the UK, there could still be a way out where Britain comes to a point and say, you know what, after we said we are going today, we've decided not to go the way. But how would that play out? Technically, it's going to be a problem. I don't see how it's going to play out. I mean, democracy is what they believe in, and voters have voted and decided that the majority, although sold to them via lies and other things, decided that, hey, we want to exit. I mean, why now do we want to remain? The remainers should blame themselves for not doing a good job, myself included, because I voted for Remain. I didn't cast my votes for the Brexit. I wanted Remain, but hey, we were defeated, beaten soundly and comfortably. But I have no say. I just have to respect the will of the people, and which is let's exit. So whichever way they exit, we'll follow them. Whether it's through fire exit, through emergency exit, whatever it is, there's going to be an exit, and follow them. Right. Let's again. You recall that recently, not that you recall, it's something that is still ongoing, because as we speak now, US is taking another 10 where some politicians are now being accused of sexual harassment and other things, and that has led to the untimely death of an MP who was actually relieved or sacked from the party by the Welsh leader. Now, the latest coming in, it says that people are now getting worried about how accusation, and the family members of the gentleman, may he so rest in peace, are saying that he was unfairly treated because, one, he didn't know the specific allegations that were leveled against him, and he was not given an opportunity to even respond to that, which means that someone could have lied about him. He's not here to defend himself now, and then he thought what that was done to him was, one, to damage his reputation that he's built over the years. He wasn't given a fair chance of hearing to respond to our allegations, and do not even know the source of the allegations and the specific allegations against him, and thought he couldn't handle it, and actually took on his life. You also recall the Conservative MP who also be suspended. He's also saying he does not know the specific allegations, and the party has not officially informed him of his crimes, what he's done. Charges have been, allegations have been made, charges have not been brought, investigations are still ongoing. But the question people are now asking is, if allegations should form the basis upon which people are punished, then anyone could just go and make an allegation against someone, that people should be declared innocent until proven guilty. Other opponents will tell you that no, we need to encourage people to speak out, and assuming we make attempts not to believe them, to disbelieve them, it actually pushes them apart. there's this difficult balance between what is happening. How do we ensure that the rights of people are protected, the rights of innocents are protected, and also encourage people to speak out and punish the wrongdoers? It's a very, very, very difficult line. How do we handle it? That's the question I would like you to bring your take on. People are being accused. Some of them might be guilty. Some might not be guilty. I mean, this is not in our place to call anyone guilty. The law courts will have to do that. That is reserved for them. But should we just use an allegation as a way of punishing someone? Are we not giving a blank check to people to make all kind of allegations against even the innocent people? I don't know your take about it. I don't know what you think. And I know women are very passionate about this subject, and I would like to hear from you if you have a strong opinion on it. Our phone lines are 020-8133-2257, then 020-8133-2258. If you're actually calling from the US or Canada, like some people do, is 001-718-303-2737. I'd like to say a very big thank you to our sponsor, Lam and Mirabas, for all litigation issues in the UK and even abroad. Wherever you are, it's a competent law firm. Do you want to come to the UK? Please take this number down, or the email if you actually, I would advise a phone call if you actually reside outside the UK. I would advise that you send an email first, put your case across to them. It could be Zambia, Zimbabwe, wherever you are. They are now recruiting a lot of nurses, and you can send them a mail. The email is Simone, that is SIMONE at LAM, that's LAMMEERABUX.com, lamandmirabus.com. You can go to their website. But the phone numbers, please, in case of emergency and you need to call them, someone is in court, someone has been arrested, you want help in legal advice, I tell you what, they are a law firm that we can guarantee they deliver the results. When it comes to immigration, they have 100% record. They have an in-house team that will assess the case. If the documents that they're going to file are not going to work, they will tell you, let's do it this way, let's do it this way, because they wouldn't want to risk their reputation. Their phone number is 020-8253-0099. That is 020-8253-0099. Their emergency number, mobile number is 077-927-48181. I take that number again, is 077-927-48181. That's Lam and Mirabas for you. Okay. Now let's proceed with our news in the UK, and then we'll go to Europe and come back to the Caribbeans and look at how we can get to Africa, hopefully. And yeah, let's see. Okay, right. A news coming in is a man has been charged with administering a poison with intent to inflict grievous bodily harm after 2 police officers were injured during an arrest. Details. They were affected by chemical at a flat in North Oxford and kept in hospital overnight. That's the place. Now, he's also charged, that Mr. Hamad Najid, Mr. Hamad Najid, 34, from Oxford, who has been arrested, is charged with 1 count of intimidating a witness. 5 other officers also experienced minor irritation as a result of the substance at the flat on Elizabeth James Way. Surroundings flats on the street were evacuated as a precaution, but residents have been able to return home. That is what is coming from Oxford. The other time we witnessed something that is of concern, I think a few months ago, we said on this platform that people might end up attacking people for acid, and it's something that is on increase. Now, please, if you drive in, especially the women and the ladies that walk on the street, by the roadside, and actually speak on the phone, talk on the phone, please be careful, because people are on mopeds now snatching phones and spraying acid on innocent people. Drivers, please be careful. People stop you, tell you, especially those on the moped and those scooters, they tell you bring your what they call it, your windows down. They want to ask you a direction or something. Please be careful. I mean, make sure you are safe before you do it, because acid is being sprayed on people. Sulfuric acid is being sprayed on people, and you know, you can just go to what they call it, a plumbing shop, and get an acid drain and blockers and all those things. You can use, they are very powerful chemicals, and please take care of yourself. We want to see all our listeners safe and sound, you know. Right, we have a news that I think a lot of Caribbeans will be interested in. It says a mother has been left sickened by a decision not to prosecute the doctor who circumcised her son without her consent. The boy underwent the procedure when his paternal grandmother took him to the surgery in Nottingham. The police told he believed the mother had consented. The doctor told the police he believed the mother had consented, and prosecutor decided not to charge him. Human rights lawyer Samuel is appealing the flawed and irrational decision. This is an issue that I know a lot of people have an opinion about. It's about men, whether we are allowed to circumcise, or you can circumcise a kid without a parental consent or not, and whether the parents should also take a decision not to circumcise or to circumcise a child. I mean, it's a bit of a difficult decision. Sometimes some of these decisions are informed by our background, our cultural, ideological practice, our religious practices, and what we believe in. It's a very thin line. Personally, I hail from Ghana. I'm circumcised. Will I circumcise my son? Yes, I will consent to circumcision of my son. But will you do it? That's a decision you're gonna take as a family. So this case is test case where a grandmother actually took a grandson to the hospital and got a boy circumcised. But the mom is saying, I did not consent to it. But this is the case. If the father consents to it and the mom does not consent to it, and they all have joint custody of the baby, what happens? It's a very, very difficult decision, but I hope they get it resolved. The baby has already been circumcised. Prosecution will not, bring that flesh and that skin back onto the penis of the person, and I just hope this woman. Right, I have a message from Kofi Ale. Kofi, good morning. We are watching live and direct. Great, you announced the opening of the phone lines earlier, so that we'll do time when we have people calling. This is a smart departure from when one person sits on the studio. And Kofi, some of these comments, we have the rules basically sends us some of these comments anyway. But let's keep on listening, and let's keep on doing what we know how to do best, which is to review the news for you now. And again, let me repeat, at exactly 11 o'clock, if grace permits us and if the lines allows us, we will be crossing over straight to Nigeria for our news update from that beautiful country. Now, because time is not our son, let's go straight to the last news item in the UK, and then we will move to the EU. Right, MP's harassment not as big as expenses. So it all has to do with sexual harassment claims and all this. Fewer people will be caught up in Westminster sex scandal than were exposed in expenses role. Common Speaker John Baker has predicted. Now, he said he did not expect numbers anything like those found to be claiming fraudulently in 2009. Just to refresh your minds, the people, somewhere in 2009, we did have a bit of scandal at Westminster where a lot of MPs were caught and accused of having engaged and fraudulently claimed expenses that they were not supposed to, or money from the state that were not supposed to. Did anyone resign? I don't recall. Someone can call and remind me if they did. Well, did we see any punishment or recalling from Parliament or some of those people who were involved? I know there were people who were, some people were persecuted, but as to whether what was meted out to them was enough or not, that is something that we will need, individuals will need to decide and make their own judgments. You know, judgments are like opinions. So the Speaker of Parliament, House of Commons, is saying that what we should expect, the scandal that is brewing, what we should expect, the number of people who should be caught in the net or who will be caught in the net involving this sexual scandal is not going to be as much. Basically, what he's saying, listen, we've seen it all before and we were able to deal with it and we will be able to do it. In Westminster, we match a refined house than it is today. So that is what is coming from the Baker, who is actually the Speaker of Parliament, House of Commons. Now let's go to EU, and this links to EU and the UK, the Brexit talks. UK Brexit date to be enshrined in law. We spoke about it briefly. The talks have also resumed in Brussels, and we're hoping that something good. But the news we're picking up says that, listen, nothing has changed yet. The 6 rounds of talk began, but nothing has changed yet. And we understand that increasingly Britain is actually heading towards conceding to pay all the debt that the EU might impose on it as a divorce bill. Right, in a related development, the French president makes a surprise visit to Saudi Arabia. Wow, business. This is about business. President Emmanuel Macron has paid an unscheduled visit to Saudi Arabia amid escalating crisis between the kingdom and Lebanon. His trip comes days after Lebanese Prime Minister resigned whilst in Riyadh, saying he feared for his life. Right, Iran has been accused. Iran and Saudi Arabia have accused each other of fueling instability in Lebanon. Well, so what is it going to do? Are we going to see attempt to sell weapons or aircrafts? You know, we don't know. But that's what we have at the EU from that the French president is actually flown to. Let me bring some news to our listeners and announcements. We're doing our bit over here to be focusing more on the Caribbeans and the Africans. We're putting some changes in place in our programming, and like we told you, the morning show, which is going to start pretty soon from 7 to 10 o'clock, will focus exclusively on the Caribbeans and the African countries, because that is what we are here for. And we're also trying our best to kickstart a segment of the programming where we focus exclusively on news that is affecting the Africans and the Caribbeans within the UK. So we want to go close to our people where we are based. So all doses are coming your way pretty shortly, but bear with us and continue your support for Starr Radio UK. We appreciate it. We appreciate each and every minute that you spend listening to us. Now let's go back to the UK and take the last news before we cross over to, well, I think we're already in Nigeria. We have our guest Olayemi Kweke, who has just joined us from Nigeria. I'll be crossing over to him briefly, pretty shortly. Let me see if I can get him. Olayemi, you might have to adjust your adjust your headset. Adjust your phone. Okay, I think we're going to be crossing over to Nigeria pretty shortly. Are we in Nigeria? Wow. Olaime, good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
How are you?
And good morning, and it's good afternoon right here in Lagos.
Oh, yes.
And it's exactly 12 p.m. right here in Nigeria.
Once
again, thank you very much for always coming on air to speak to the listeners on the breakfast show. We really like to apologize to those that were waiting for us in the last 2 days. The network has been very bad, so we were unable to connect to the studio. But we are working extremely hard to miss in any of the time slots because it's very important to give this daily update, not only for those, but also for those that might be looking at the investment part of coming into Nigeria or the all other African countries. We do know that the president, had a budget speech on Tuesday, and that was a very fascinating one. We're looking at about 8.6 trillion budget proposal for the 2018. We know the audience that were following us on Niger Voices were able to give you all the breakdown of what the budget is going to be like and what the expectations of an average Nigerian to this budget. We're going to look into the paper as well today, and also we will be able to show you exactly the location where we are. We're just in an area called Yanopaja, which is a very extremely busy axis of Lagos, and from there you could travel outside Lagos. But let's look quickly in the paper update this morning, and we will then be able to review maybe in under 3 minutes, what the 2018 budget.
Wow. Don't tell me we've lost him. Don't tell me we've lost him. Quakey, are you there? Olaime? Right, listeners, I think we've lost Olaime Quakey. The lines are not helping us. Olaime, are you there? Right, we'll be right back. We'll go back to Nigeria pretty shortly. Olaime, we've lost Olaime. We've lost Olaime. Bear with us whilst we try to get him back. Right, let's proceed with our news whilst we wait for our technicians and our production team to reconnect that link for us to proceed with our deliberations. So EU, we're on EU. Now, Italy arrests, okay, I think we do have Olaime Quakey back. We do have Olaime Quakey back. Olaime Quakey.
After 81 days of the rat invasion, the president finally returned back to his official office yesterday, and he had his first meeting with the Armed Force Council yesterday. Also, in the paper today, there was a controversy about a particular governor, giving again homage to some of the the Obas in Ibadan. So that also is coming up in the paper. And we also know that one of the ex-Super Eagles player has been arraigned for battering his wife. We will look into the paper again. The paper is still talking about the 2018 budget, even though they're talking about the 2 trillion debt services provision, unsustainable. Lagos is hosting in the last 1 week the trade fair, and we should be there tomorrow and the closing day on Sunday. And we'll be able to give you a report on that on Monday when we speak to you in the studio. Let's look into the budget quickly, and maybe you might have 1 or 2 questions that you want to ask as well based on the budget proposal. Firstly, we know that the opening remark of the Senate president himself, these are just some of the opening remarks before the president stood his ground for about 1 hour, 30 minutes, giving us the budget. The Senate president was asking that everything now has to be a real value for money, and we should also patronize made in Nigerian goods. Also, the bureaucracy for procurement. A lot of people are complaining that there's not a lot of businesses out. A procurement from the government now is very, very difficult. Also, power, railway, these are some of just the opening remarks. We know that the give a bit of the highlight, and then now give you the time to ask one or two because of the time schedule as well. The 2018 budget we consolidate on achievement of the previous budget. Only Nigerians know that is the word of the president himself. 20 well, we hope that will be. Also, there's a particular state, which is Ondo State. The bitumen in that particular axis can fix all the road network of Nigeria. We should be expecting a better outcome of the project ongoing in that area, for next year. The benchmark for this budget is on $45 per crude oil. We're looking at about 2.1. Though we know the budget is on $45 per barrel. So we hope that the Senate, there were about 449 of them. It was a packed house, and we hope that they will work on this as quickly as possible. This is just a proposal, not until it's passed before we can call it a full budget. I'll leave that to you. I'm sure you've been following that as well. Maybe you might ask one or two things you want to ask me, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, Kweke.
Yes.
Was there any particular attention given to? Yeah, was there any particular attention, or was there any particular mention of the energy sector? Because we know the energy sector in Nigeria is actually suffering. Past my neighbor issues and people not being able to have constant and regular light. I mean, is there any particular mention or in the budget?
Yes. Yeah, we are looking at the 558 billion naira, which is a mark. The president mentioned, the solar energy. We've got about 40 factory. The solar is also, something that is extremely hot, down here in Lagos. That shows that even Lagos is extremely hot. Up north in the northern part of the country, imagine if we have all this solar panel in almost every sector of this industries and all that. So yes, the president did mention that the solar sector of the making energy efficient for average Nigerians. I mean, while we were reporting on Wednesday on the Niger Voices, we were at a particular hotel for 6 days. There was no electricity, so that means they were running on a diesel. And these are some of the issues with an average. I mean, he's a diaspora as well, and he complained about, the electricity problem is the biggest and the challenging sector that needs to be rectified as quickly as possible if we really want to be, the most important bit of, economic power in the world or in Africa.
Yeah, great. But one thing that I'm concerned again about is we've heard monies have been allocated to these sectors over the years. But the question, when it comes to delivery, we know on paper money has been allocated. But when it comes to delivery, there's nothing on the ground to show for it. I got a friend in Nigeria who is an auditor in one of the states. I'm not going to mention the state for certain reasons. Who was a diaspora, moved there to work, and can testify to the fact that sometimes budgets are allocated, contracts are given, and they call the contractor to say that, we just did it on paper. Take 40% of the money, give us 60% of the money. Yes, money has been allocated, but has the president put in strategies to make sure that whatever dime, penny, naira has been allocated to that sector goes straight to delivering the services to the people?
Well, the most important thing, like you said, is accountability. Accountability is the only way to move any economy forward. I mean, since we've been here, the question everybody has been asked is there real accountability? So the president mentioned about wasting. Yes, I'm sure the president up there putting a lot of things in place in terms of making sure that the accountability of projects being delivered. I mean, while we were moving around, especially Lagos State is one in terms of the particular project, you deliver. We're saying that now, and the good thing about it as well is, you'll be amazed the work of Australia. Signal is dropping again.
Oh wow, we're having
Hello?
a bit of yes, I can hear you. Go on. We're having a bit of bad line, but please proceed. And let's do it quickly so that we don't get stuck. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can still hear you.
In the studio.
Yeah, we can hear you in the studio. We can't hear you. Quakey. I think you can't hear us, but we can still hear you. Proceed. Listen, I would like to apologize. We're having a bad connection all the way to Nigeria, but we'll try and... Quakey, proceed. Wow. We just have lost Quakey briefly. We've just lost Quakey briefly. Okay, let's see if we can get Quakey back online. Our technical team is trying all the best. Bear with us. Apologize. I mean, that's the internet connection. We do not have very good speed of internet in our part of the world, but we're doing our best. We're doing all the same to see if we can get Quakey back. Yes, I think we got Quakey back. So let's go. Quakey, please proceed.
The network's up. The network bad today, but let us round it up.
Yeah.
The most important thing is the accountability is the key to any growth in any economy, and we know that the government of today are listening, they are watching, and they are following. The beauty of the social media as well is making the government engage. That particular house has now been fortified, by the Lagos State in the court, and someone is making 325 million naira from that for whistleblowing.
Yeah.
President mentioned that again during his speech. That whistleblowing line is still open. Of country, because that's the important thing for an average Nigerian living in Nigeria itself.
Okay. All right, Quakey, we're going to be running it up
yes.
because of our line. But before you go, let me ask you a last question. We've heard as
yes.
part of the efforts for the economic bloc, the ECOWAS to come together, we're looking at, we now have a common passport. They're looking at having a common currency, and the Nigerian government has just said they are not interested in a common currency. On the streets, I mean, what is the take of the Nigerians, an average Nigerian, on this issue?
Well, the problem is we're not even looking about the currency alone. I mean, if someone is going to travel from Nigeria to Kenya, you still have to get a visa and all that. The important thing is not just the work union between all these African unions work together closely so that we can move around, swiftly and do more businesses. I mean, I was in the Republic of Cotonou, last year when I was in Nigeria, and it's so difficult to move around between, the countries itself, not to now talk about the currency. It's so difficult that you won't believe that some of this country doesn't even give visa, to go to another to Europe.
Wow. Anyway, would like to say very, very big thank you for joining us. Any last final words before we let you go? Our line is not that good.
Well, as you can see there, this is Yana Faja. We'd like to say a big thank you to all our listeners. Continue to follow Starr Radio UK, and we should be open to have, Starr Radio UK working very closely with Nigeria as well. And we will be back again on Monday. We also know that the trade envoy to UK, John Howard, is in Nigeria. Africa is a destination. If you're still thinking there's no hope, we would like to tell you there's still hope in Africa. Once again, a big thank you to the team in UK for making sure that we're coming live to you every Wednesday on Nigeria Voices. And we hope to be back on Monday to give you what took place over the weekend at a beautiful trade show that is going on in Tafawa Balewa Square in Lagos. Thank you very much and have a good weekend.
Right, have a great weekend, and our regards to all our family and friends in Nigeria. We salute you. We say thank you very much, Quakey. Right, that was Quakey all the way from Nigeria joining us, give us update on what is happening in the news and the developments and how Nigerians are feeling. I hope Nigerians, wherever you are, we say thank you very much. The most populous country in Africa, the powerhouse. We say if Nigeria coughs, it will catch the whole of Africa. But has Nigerian been able to assume its responsibility to be the powerhouse of Africa? So far, we don't know. Let's go for a quick music break, and when we return, we'll proceed with our news item, going through the US, the Caribbean, the Eastern Africa, and then we end up in West Africa.
Why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we ever see you again, want me and crew my boy. Why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we ever see you again, why me and crew my boy? Why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we are gonna see you again, why me and crew my boy? Why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we are gonna see you again.
Alright, the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it's linked up with the total liberation of the whole African continent. You voiced it as thunderous as thunder and made your mark as the black president. Born some 100 years ago inside in Crown Folder, you taught us not to fool or carry water in a basket. You walked in the belly of the beast till your shoe sole dropped off, but you still hit the deadly nail into the slave master's casket. Oh, Sergeant, Kwame Nkrumah, you shouted, self-government now, when the rest of them still slumbered in the carcon of procrastination. Yet, imperialism, nepotism, pluralism, and nyafu dideism were never part of you as a man. Black like jerks, or Sajifo, Brew.
Why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we are gonna see you again, want me and crew my boy. Why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we are gonna see you again.
Yes, you said it with no doubt that we prefer self-government with danger to servitude in tranquility. As a little child, born to Nyaniba and Kofi Ngoloma, and attending school in Hafasini, you were full of ability. Materialism you hated like a cankerworm, as honesty soon made you a celebrity. At Kulungubu, the bombs flew around your head, perpetrated by the enemies of serenity. Oh, God bless, let no one curse. The saying goes with no element of inferiority. Ghana would one day queue to buy common salt. You said it when your government was toppled by some cacophonous drunk soldier man with no dignity.
Why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we are gonna see you again, want me and crew my boy. Why did you leave so soon? I miss you so. When we are gonna see you again.
Oh yeah, Granny Kwame Nkrumah, you're the great man from Africa. Come liberate my brother from mental slavery. Yeah. Oh yeah, Granny Kwame Nkrumah, you're the great man from Africa. Come liberate my brother from mental slavery.
Welcome.
Your inspiration for the black nation. No need to fight, we should unite for the future generation. Oh yeah, Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah, Kwame Nkrumah, oh yeah,
Nkrumah, do re mi fa sol la ti do. Musical soul fast echo from the hearts of the Ramblers band. A musical leader whose love for black dignity would always be true and remain like the footsteps in the sand.
That's a beautiful song coming from Black Rasta.
Wake up the spirit of Africa and uphold the name of a great son of the land.
This is Starr Radio UK.
So much so that you never.
A very loaded soundtrack
from the motherland
on his Kuchuku album. You can get it in the iTunes. Download it. Support our brother.
Descendants of the Nzemaland. It is time to pacify the spirits of Nkrumah. 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 Nkrumah.
Are you looking for a job as a general nurse, theater nurse, ODPS, community nurse, healthcare assistant, mental health nurses, midwives, sterile services, domiciliary services? Then look no further. Bright Stars Plus Healthcare Agency have vacancies with good pay rates at London, Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, Cambridge, South England, West Midlands, Sussex and North of England. To apply, visit www.brightstarplus.com or you can call us on 073 890 64632. The number again, 073 890 64632 or email info@brightstarplus.com. Bright Star Plus, the best in recruitment.
The Prasad's Automotive provides affordable, high-quality after-sales service to Bentley and crew-built Rolls-Royce cars, charging only 60% of main dealer labour rates. We offer health checks, servicing, diagnostics, air conditioning servicing, four-wheel alignment, pre-purchase inspections, brake repairs, engine removal repairs, and dent repairs. We're a team of highly skilled engineers. David Prasad was employed at Jack Barclay for over 27 years. At the Prasad's Automotive, we have the knowledge, experience and facilities that equip us to deliver excellence and quality to our clients at a personal level.
Right, thank you once again and welcome back to Starr Radio. This is Frank Davis and I'm sitting in for Archie Hammond, your usual host, who can't be with us here today. The lines will be open the next 5 minutes. That's exactly 11:30, and the numbers to call 0208133227, 0208133258. And then if you're calling from the US or Canada, 001-718-303-2737. I take that again. That is 001-718-303-2737. Those lines also apply to the Caribbean, the Jamaicans, and the Barbadians. All those islands, you can join us live on those local lines. Let's go quickly to our news items in the US, and we quickly make it a point that by 12 o'clock latest we should be running in Africa. Something is happening in Kenya. We'll be updating you, and what is happening in Congo, we're also going to be updating you very shortly on that. Odinga is making some noises. Are they valid or not? Zimbabwe too, we know the vice president has been sacked. What is his next move? We understand there's a chunk of the party that are now asking that they want to be out of ZANU-PF. Would that be a good and solid future for the party? Grace Mugabe has positioned herself to take over a dynasty system. We are going to go to Zimbabwe, and on Tuesday we're likely to have one of the MPs with us on the Big Questions program, where we'll be looking deep into issues around and involving politics and politics in Zimbabwe. But let's quickly go to the US and see what is happening. But the lines will be open in the next 4 minutes, exactly 11:30. The lines can be true, and we'll take it. Now, 5 women accuse US comic of misconduct. Accusers level similar allegations against Emmy-winning Louis C.K. in the New York Times report says. 4 of the accusers told New York Times he had masturbated during interactions with them, and a 5th said he had asked to do so. The distributor of the news of his new film, I Love You, Daddy, said it was reviewing plans for its general release. 4 comedians, Dananin Kudman, Julia Wolof, Rebecca Corey, and Abby Sharma, and the 5th woman who spoke on conditional anonymity, made allegations about the entertainer in that was yesterday. That Miss Goodman and that the other 3 stripped naked and masturbated after inviting them to his hotel room during US Comedy Arts Festival in 2002. Mr. Ni Amakwe, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. Miss Gori told the newspaper the comic was a guest star on a TV pilot she was appearing on in 2005 when she asked if he could go to her dressing room so that she could watch him perform a sex act on himself. She said she rebuked him and pointed out that he had a daughter and a pregnant wife. Mrs. Sharma said she called Louis C.K. in 2000 to invite him to one of her shows and was dumbfounded to realize during their phone call conversation that he was masturbating. Wow. I felt very ashamed, she told. So the sexual scandals and accusations, go on. Let's see what happened. People who are guilty. But I don't know. I would like to have a woman in house so that we have some of this discussion. Yesterday I was following the big question, the question time, and one of the ladies was actually arguing that the women, to a large extent, also contributes to this. Is that true or not? I don't know your experience. People who have sexually been violated violently, especially rape and other things, men should not be spared in that case. People should be punished. But I do think that for each accusation or allegation that has been made, we need to thoroughly investigate it before we actually raise the dagger and stab it in people's chest. I think we need to be careful, because we know of cases where people have been accused, or women have gone to the place to accuse men of rape, and it has turned out that they actually lied. So there are cases like that. Someone will have a grudge with someone they might have dated, and someone might have said, okay, you know what, I'm moving on. And people might harbor bitterness and other things, and they'll think this is the right time to pay you back. So we need to be extra careful until the courts have decided. I still am opinion that we should be very careful. Now, another sex scandal. Thank God it's Friday. We have Romo, Alabama state candidate, denied charged sex abuse. That's a serious one. Alabama candidate for the U.S. Senate is denied allegation that he sexually abused a 14-year-old girl. A Republican firebrand said claims that he preyed on a teenager while he was a 32-year-old prosecutor were completely false. Lay confirmed. 3 other women say Mr. Mom made sexual advances on them when they were between the age of 14 and 18. The Washington Post reports. He's a 70-year-old man now, so we're looking at a pretty when he was 1932, that was 38 years ago, where the culture of what was right and wrong at that time was different from what is right and wrong today. Although under law, we should have foreseen some, but it becomes a very difficult situation. When I approach a woman, probably she says no to it. Will she go in future to say I harass her sexually? If that is going to be the case, then how do men now make advances? How are we going to find partners? And especially in a culture where men are expected to approach more. So, okay, I see a beautiful lady. I want to approach her. What do I do such that it does not constitute harassment or sexual advances? Of course, if I'm approaching a woman to befriend her and ask her out, it's an advancement, right? But at what point does it become a crime? I need someone to help me out, because we all have to learn from it. I have said to myself, I told Archie the other time, I have now papers in my pocket. If you're a lady and you even want to hug me, I want you to sign a consent form. Because at the end of the day, I don't want one day you go stand somewhere and tell me how do you call it? I hugged you and that you felt uncomfortable. That was harassment. Someone should help me out. I'm a bit confused. So this 70th Amendment in the statement said, these allegations are completely false and are desperate political attempts by political opponents. Could be true. I think we need to, the authorities will have to investigate. The Christian Conservative team said in another statement about the allegation, this garbage is the very definition of fake news and intentional defamation. The campaign statement pointed to the father of four, nearly 33-year-old marriage, arguing that if any of these allegations were true, they would have been made public long before now. A populist former Chief Justice in the state has been widely expected to defeat the Democrat rivals, and he sees this as an attempt by the Democrats to bring 1979 allegations up to date, which some of them, according to him, might not be things that people should take serious, and they are completely fake news. That is coming from the US. That is coming from the US. Right, in a related development in the US, I think we'll go for the last two news items from the US, then we'll move to the Caribbean. The FBI seeks to unlock Tesla's killer's iPhone. You recall that there was an issue sometime back when they were looking for an iPhone, details to get into the iPhone of someone who was an IS or a suicide, attempted suicide bomber or something like that. And it got to a point where the company said they were not going to allow them, and eventually the IBF actually, the FBI, not the IBF, sorry, the FBI succeeded, and we understand they actually got assistance for an Israeli tech company to actually unlock that phone. In related development, we haven't, the FBI are now trying to unlock a smartphone of a gunman who killed 26 people at a church in Texas last Sunday. The FBI said his handset had been sent to East Central Crime Lab in Virginia, as local police could not unlock it. Apple said it had immediately offered to help. This time round they are coming round to help, because the other time Apple said they were not going to help, and that it will expose their dear customer to vulnerability, and that to them was against the principles that they stood for, and that would be a breach of contractual agreement between themselves and their customers. But this time round they are coming. Is it because they know whether they offer to help or not, eventually the FBI will find their way through it? So they are actually playing the game, or playing the game that they need to do before they are caught. Yeah, so Apple has immediately offered to help. The company said it worked with the law enforcement agencies every day and had trained thousands of officers about the way best to handle its devices and how to request information. Mr. Callis had saved his iPhone data on iPhone Cloud service. These two may hold information about numbers called, messages sent, and pictures it was used for. They need to do that for investigative reasons. And then let's go for the final news item from the US. Then we can Trump US won't tolerate abuses. That's what Trump is saying. You know, Donald Trump is on Asian Pacific tour. He went to Japan. He started selling multi-billion amount of weapons to them. Went to Korea, sold more weapons to them. Then flew to China, where his tone changed. I mean, before he came onto the scene, we know he actually wanted a hard stand on China trade relationship, saying that the trade relationship between the China and the US now is totally unfair. Let me just digress a little bit. Now, for each country in the Caribbean and for each country in Africa, do we know how much, or can, if we ask a Minister of Trade in any of those countries today, would they be able to tell us the volume of trade between our neighboring countries? And is that right? If I open a shop, the people I expect to patronize my shop first are people who live within the locality. Geographically, I can access them and they can access me. That is, I'm talking of shops like a physical store. I do not expect someone from Nicaragua to come and buy the chicken and chips from a shop in Brixton. That is not going to happen unless they travel down here. Now, if that is the case, then it suggests, common sense will suggest that if a country like Equatorial Guinea has a product to sell, a country like Guatemala, a country like Barbados, Jamaica has something to sell, and Antigua have something to sell, Ecuador have something to sell, then we should be looking at how best we can sell it to our neighbors, especially when they are not producing the same product. And again, economics will tell you that we need to look at where we have advantages over our neighbors and then strengthen our production in those areas. So for instance, if you go to Mali, it's a Sahel zone. There might be things that they can't produce. Can Nigerians produce and actually trade with them? Or we're looking at Nigeria as a country that produce and it's only focused on trying to trade with Europe just because of the dollars and pounds. I know of a case where sunflower oil, which is produced a lot in Cameroon, the companies that controls those oils are actually based in Malaysia. And therefore, and I got to know this when I was in the financial world and we wanted to pre-finance a trade deal between a company that was buying cooking oil from Malaysia and sending it to Nigeria. And we found out that the oil actually was produced, because we needed to do a bit of due diligence. The oil, the sunflower oil, was actually produced in Cameroon. Now, the question is, look at where the oil is produced, right? All the way to Malaysia and then back. Whatever the case may be, I do believe that if a Nigerian firm is buying from Cameroon, the cost implication in terms of freight, insurance, and cost will be less. Profits that are going to be slammed on it by the Malaysians will not be on the product, and therefore the consumer, who is a common African, will end up paying less than what they would have paid if the product has traveled all the way or gone through all those kind of chain before it arrives in our shores in Nigeria. So, what are we doing to trade among ourselves? What is the trade volume between Nigeria and Ghana? How about Zimbabwe and Kenya? How about Uganda and Rwanda? Liberia and Burundi? What are trade relationships? What are we trading among themselves? And personally, I feel if we're going to progress and we want to see the change that we desperately need on the African continent, Kyoki was saying a while ago that it's difficult to travel within the African continent than to come to Europe. To a large extent, if I want to travel from Ghana to Sierra Leone, how much I'm going to pay in terms of airfare is almost like coming to London. You see, we're making it very, very difficult for us. Anyway, let me go back to what the news is saying. This is not a program to discuss trade topics. It's just to review news that is making the headline. Donald President Trump has said the U.S. will no longer tolerate chronic trade abuse in a defiant address at the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. He did not say this when he was in China, but he actually made this comment at the Cooperation Summit, at the APEC Summit in Vietnam. He said he will always put U.S. interests first, and APEC nationals should abide by fair reciprocal trade. In sharp contrast, China's president said globalization was irreversible and voiced support for multilateralization, where companies from other countries are given support or treated the same way in different jurisdictions. Trump has visited China and Japan as part of the 5-nation Asian tour. The APEC brings together 21 economies from the Pacific region, the equivalent of about 60% of the world's GDP. Wow. So the Asians are actually leading. 21 countries, world GDP, they are controlling 60%. That is huge. And don't ask me how. The mobile phone that you're holding, just look at it. The mobile phone that you are holding, where was it produced? Did you buy it? If you did, then you contributed towards this 60% GDP. I'm using a Samsung, so I've also contributed because Samsung's is a South Korean giant, tech giant. So I've also contributed to that 60%. So if you're in a mobile phone, unless the mobile phone is produced anywhere outside Asia, if you're on an iPhone, then it's issued to do with what they call the US. Since taking office, President Trump has pursued his American First agenda and pulled the U.S. out of regional trade, Trans-Pacific Partnership. Yes, so he's putting American first. The question is, are the African and the Caribbean leaders putting their country first? Time check. It's exactly 11:45. We're going to go for a quick commercial break, and when we return, we'll fast forward to the Caribbean, the Middle East, and by 12 o'clock exactly, we will be on the most beautiful continent of Africa.
I was in a tunnel and couldn't see the light.
Oh, not again, not again. I've been duped.
Hello, Kweku. How long will you continue to fall for these unscrupulous landowners? This is the second time, huh? Do you want a hassle-free, litigation-free life when it comes to owning a property in Ghana? Look no further. Royal Valley Estates, RVE, is your answer. RVE is located at Bawaleshi near Valley View University on the Adenta to Dodowa Highway, Accra, Ghana. RVE is a gated community with 24-hour security. 300 houses will be constructed at RVE, comprising of 3-bedroom, semi-detached and 3-bedroom detached houses. The plot sizes at RVE are generous. Mortgages and flexible payment options available to qualified applicants. Rush now and own a house in Ghana. For more information, contact Pastor Joe Kissinger Anochi on 0790-479-3019. You can also contact Reverend Francis Nunu on 0744-049 0794271 and also on 0744805490. You can also email him at fs.nunu@gmail.com. You can also visit us at www.royalvalleyestates.gh.com. RVE, a place you can call home. Listen to Aunties Mary, Lottie and Regina on the Family Enrichment Programme on Starr Radio UK. This and every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Some people are wicked because don't make it your business going about revealing
people's secrets. Don't be a busybody.
And some people. Today's typical family is under pressure from various directions. Divorce is on the increase. More and more of the Afro-Caribbean youth are taking to crime, etc. The Family Enrichment Programme brings together a team of qualified experts to discuss and shed light on how we can make our families better and stronger. It is said the family can do without the society, but the society can't. Listen to the Family Enrichment Programme this and every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Starr Radio UK, your favourite Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Freedom Church London presents the Freedom Hour every Saturday at 3 p.m. on Starr Radio UK with Sister Sarah. Do make a date with us and your life will never be the same. Remember to tell a friend to also invite a friend. The Freedom Hour, setting you free for life.
Hello listeners, my name is Ira Lucy. I invite you to join me on the Starr Personality Profile Show this and every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Starr Radio UK, where I will be talking to experts in their different fields to find out why they do what they do and what makes them exceptional in their various careers. This show is Starr Personality Profile on Starr Radio UK. Remember, the time is 6 p.m. every Tuesday. Download the app from your app store or join me live on all our social media platforms.
The IWFT team presents Footprints on Starr Radio UK with your host Oscar Bimpong every Thursday at 7 p.m. Starr Radio UK, your finest Afro-Caribbean station in London.
Adult music, that's all.
Hey, I, ooh, me day,
Welcome.
Me day, you bang me one day, and then you make me new betty a groovy. One min time a game, fama to a bam. Na found a granuma soon. Hope it could be, but you be any door. Me and mine, about your swag, go in and walk on a canade, a baby. But just said in the morning, oh, day in a amateur, oh, day in a amateur. In my Makoma condo, oh, yeah, before I take that amateur.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Mama I want to massage you from top to toe. Me make you retain my city.
Yes, welcome back. We are now set. And we're touching down the Caribbean and the Latin America.
No get a whipped cream. I miss so much that them make it a whiskey. Don't want no stress, you want to wine and dine with me. And after that you want to bump and grind with me. Grind with me. Oh, no, man, oh, no, man, oh, sit you in the situation. Oh, no, man, oh,
Oh yes, that's a good song that was requested by Marian, and that goes to you. So let's look at what is happening in the Caribbean. We got one news item coming there from there, which I think we need to mention. We have Antigua and Barbuda. That's Antigua and Barbuda ranked as having Caribbean's top citizenship by investment program. I think there's a very interesting one, and let me go to it. So St. John's, Antigua and Barbuda is ranked as the Caribbean top citizenship by investment program, while Grenada and St. Kitts and Nevis are ranked second and third respectively, according to Global Residents and Citizens Program. The report, which had become the industry standard for benchmarking the measuring the attractiveness of investment migration program, was released by Global Residents and Citizenship advisory firm Henley and Partners ahead of its 11th Global Residents and Citizenship Conference, which will be held in Hong Kong from the 14th to the 16th of November. For the third consecutive year, Antigua and Barbuda's citizenship by investment program is the top ranking one in the country with a score of 61 out of 100. It follows by Grenada, which is 60, and St. Kitts, which is Nevis. Okay, while Antigua and Barbuda is ranked 4th globally, the recent reduction in the minimum contribution amount expected by the country's citizenship by investment unit will likely affect the program. So basically, you're looking at if you've migrated from your country, how many, for each 100 people who have migrated from their country, how many of those have gone back or are interested in investing back in their country? And we're told that when it comes to the Caribbeans, Antigua and Barbuda actually top the countries in those regions, but globally they are fourth, which I think they are not doing bad. I would like to see where my country actually, where I hail from, Ghana, where it places. That is, have I made a decision to invest in Ghana? Because my statistics also be counted as part of that. Probably Kofi Ali has so many mansions over there that could also count towards such statistics. So I think that's a good news, and the people of those two beautiful countries, wherever they find themselves on earth, must be celebrated. Let's look at trying to improve the lives of where we are, and again, let's try to do a bit back home as well. Right. Barbados regulate increased pressure on utility providers to improve services. Because Alicia is there now, we might have the opportunity to speak to her live. Trading Commission is bringing the hammer down on this country's utility provider, Barbados Light and Power. The Barbados Water Authority and the cable wireless which operates in the islands as Flow. Now, it's tough new and amended standard of service is now forcing the three providers to up their standard, and in cases to automatically compensate customers for failure to meet standards that are set even without formal written complaint. I think that is a move that we would like to see rule across the whole of African countries and in the Caribbean, where utility provider and companies take undue advantage and are not interested in looking after the customer, because they know by law and by the market conditions and the situations they are at a privileged position. You need them, you use them, and they have no responsibility. So I think that's a good move by the Barbados. In the long list of new rules that takes effect from January 2018, that is in a few days time, the state regulatory body has told the providers that failure to follow the rules could result in fines of up to $100,000. Wow, $100,000. I think I got my first caller, Kofi Ali.
Morning, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. And yourself, Kofi?
Well, not bad. I've been listening to you for some time.
It's good you're listening. Have you shared it on your Facebook wall?
And I felt it's good to listen to you so that we can be able to engage effectively. Yes, and I sent what do you call it, a message earlier, and my message was not with any ill intent. I'm not specific or anyone. I only felt it would be great if the time allowed for those who
Kofi, can you just proceed with your submission? Just don't go to the message, please.
No. I'm making a very important part of the submission. We are also part of the program, and our feeling is also important. And sometimes we sit down before the guy from Nigeria start, and then
Kofi,
so
can we not discuss the programming? Can we just contribute on the discussion?
Okay. Well, now
the programming has been set, and that is what that's how the format of the program is.
Well, probably we can recommend. Maybe there might be some adjustment. I mean, we are democratic.
But Kofi, can you just go ahead with your submission, not to talk about the program?
Why do you? I don't like the way you are directing me.
No, Kofi, because I'm moderating the program, and we cannot be discussing we cannot be discussing how program is structured.
Discuss issue, and you are prolonging it.
Kofi, what we're not allowed to do is to discuss the programming. Go on with your submission.
The man in Nigeria, you ask him a very fundamental question.
Yeah.
Money is going to be introduced, West Africa. And you are asking someone about common currency in West Africa. And the man is reacting about common currency for Africa. And nobody saw anything wrong with it. He was giving examples. He was mentioning Kenya, Tanzania, then Benin Republic. The question you ask him, there are 15 countries. They've gone to meeting among 15 of them. And in that meeting, the president of Nigeria came with a position Is that not the question you asked?
That's the question, and the answer he provided was that
the man took you down to Kenya.
Because
that's you the problem of Kenya and African Union. We are not talking about African Union. We are talking about ECOWAS.
Sometimes we need to understand what he's saying, because I asked a specific question. What is the feeling of ordering? I asked a question, and that's the position of the government. What is the feeling of what the ordering Nigerian thinks? And he is saying that they are not looking. Hold on. He is saying that they are just not looking at ECOWAS, but because they trade with other parts of Africa, they are looking at what will help the whole of Africa. So if we have ECO, which is the currency Nigeria is opposed, what happens to me if I go to China, if I go to Kenya? And I think that's the point he was trying to make.
And we felt that what he doesn't realize is that we trade with West Africans, and we also trade with Africans on the continent, and we also trade with the rest of the world. Is that not true?
That is true.
Good. And then the ECOWAS is an economic community of West Africa. So we are talking about a particular economy. So if you ask him as a journalist about Nigeria, he should be able to tell you about Nigeria.
I don't think, no, Kofi, the question, you need to understand the question before you, analyze his answers. The question I asked was, what is the feeling of ordering Nigeria? And he was expressing the opinion that a lot of Nigerians are holding that they are not just looking at ECOWAS, they want it, what will aid Africa. And I don't think he was in the wrong.
I think there's something wrong there. And it's not the only one.
Well, that's your opinion.
We have this. And let me go on, please.
Okay.
Because you see, we journalists and politicians and whatever we call ourselves, those who speak on air are the ones the people on the street listen to. So if we are not directing their mind and clear on what we are talking about, we confuse them.
But he was stating his opinion and how the ordinary Nigerian feels.
His opinion is not, then we cannot say his opinion is Nigerian opinion.
The question I asked directly was, what do Nigerians and what is, and he was speaking
the
ordinary Nigerian.
Opinion.
I mean, that's information he's gathered.
Your opinion must be your personal, what Kofi, I think, that's my opinion.
That is your opinion. But we cannot condemn him. We cannot fault him for the answer he gave. We can't.
No, you see, we have a problem here. And I don't think so. The text this morning. The problem is we realize that we have a very weak regional economy. We are paying people across West Africa in dollar. Our trade is struggling. There's nothing wrong if you want to go and look for dollar because you want to do your business or you want to use ECO to trade with people in South Africa. Well, that's your choice. But we want to float our own currency so that we won't be depending on dollar alone.
But Kofi, that is where you have a problem, because if someone says we, who are we? Your we is you are looking at Africa. No. Okay, hold on.
And we said we are ECOWAS because we are discussing ECOWAS.
That is where
we are not discussing Africa at that time.
Okay, Kofi.
The question is that ECOWAS want to introduce money. Do you know that African Union is also trying to introduce money called Afro?
Kofi, that is a question.
We have already introduced our passport.
Kofi,
ECOWAS passport. And you ask him that people are carrying ECOWAS passport. You ask him the question.
Kofi,
so
hold on.
You are being specific. And the man gave you say 1 + 1, what is it? And the person say AY.
Kofi,
are you asking alphabet plus alphabet or
figure
plus figure?
Kofi,
is there no difference between figures and alphabet?
I do not agree with you, and I will not fault him, because if you come in to say we, your definition of we is ECOWAS. His definition of we is Africa. Everybody has a point, and that's it.
No,
you cannot force all of us to accept that your ECOWAS is...
We cannot be talking about the same thing and having different understanding of what we are talking about.
Unless you misunderstood the question I asked.
I cannot be talking about air and you are talking about water.
Unless you misunderstood the question I asked him. Anyway, proceed to the next issue, Kofi.
Good. So the question, the case we have here is, you see, we know that the loose ECOWAS is benefiting some people. ECOWAS where no people are not controlled, governments are not controlled. And the authority like the EU, the authority that is controlling is in Brussels. Nigeria is not ECOWAS. We need to make that clear to people. So when what we want to do for the rest of the 15, 14 countries to feel comfortable in ECOWAS, we need to have a super authority to control everybody, including Nigeria. That is what they don't want. And if we don't do that, then others will also continue to do what they are doing. Because right now we are vulnerable. You are talking about trade. Donald Trump was in Asia. Almost 250 billion. He went to Saudi Arabia. All these billions, the only thing we will get is what? Donor funding. So we have problems. And we want to deal with it. Now we are talking about palm kernel coming from Cameroon, palm kernel coming from that. These are all regulated trade. Trade must be regulated. Trade must be regulated. You can't just take anything and go dump it in the EU. You are either in ECOWAS or you are not in ECOWAS. We need to be serious about what we are doing. Because if you want to trade with South Africa, we, the rest of West Africa, are interested in the kind of trade you are getting engaged in. Because when you bring something to for example, from West Africa, from South Africa to Nigeria, that thing, because of movements of goods and services, that thing from Nigeria can come to Ghana. So why can't we be interested in what you are buying from others? The economy is the same now. And we want a bigger and a stronger economy. And when we are talking about this, those who believe in the confederation, the Biafra said they want to go because they want a loose Nigeria. They say no to them because they want a stronger federal government. Why are they not treating ECOWAS like we are a bunch of people who don't know what we are doing?
Kofi.
We need a stronger, working, regulator, because even the currency, if you are not careful, if there is no strong regulator, we are going to have a problem.
Kofi.
And this is what we are talking about.
Okay,
and when
Kofi.
you are talking about it, because the Nigerians are having advantage over the rest of us. You go to all the West African countries, you see so many Nigerians there. You go to Nigeria, how many, in fact, the number of Nigerians in Ghana are more than all the West Africans put together who go to Nigeria.
Kofi.
So we have a problem.
Kofi, thank you very much, and you can join us on other issues, Kofi. Now that's cool.
If you feel well, I am not contributing positively, and you feel it.
No, Kofi.
I will also say thank you because
Kofi.
the way you are dismissing me, the issue that was raised, I have a problem with it, and I've called to make my case. And there are so many other issues that are raised. But if I in the middle of it, from the word go, you are
okay. Kofi, listen. Kofi, you wanna listen? Kofi, you wanna listen?
I'll continue to listen. Thank you. Bye.
Listeners, Kofi, I know you're listening. Let's make this point clear. This is not a topical program. We review news, and we cannot stick to one topic to talk about it. I know you are passionate about ECOWAS and other things. That is fine, but we have to move on to other issues, and we cannot remain on ECOWAS. Olayemi came to express his views. I asked questions. You've come to express your views. I've asked questions, and that's how we'll leave it. And we'll proceed to other issues that are making the news. And if you want to talk about other issues, yes, you can talk about. We're not going to remain on ECOWAS issue for the rest of the program. That will be doing a very great disservice, and that will change the focus of what this program is all about. The program is our current affairs program. We are here to discuss, and this program comes every day during the weekday to discuss and bring about news that is making the headlines across the globe. We're not going to get stuck on one topic. This is not a topic we're discussing for the whole of the program. Kofi, thank you very much. I hope you understand the position where I'm coming from. Now let's go straight to the last news item in the Caribbean. Then we jumped to Africa. We've gone past 9 minutes by the hour of 12, but I think so far so good. So let's say the last news item from let me go to Venezuela, because there's something brewing over there. U.S. expand trade blacklist that the Donald Trump administration accused the government of undermining democracy in Venezuela, and therefore has expanded the blacklist, people who cannot travel, people who different sanctions have been imposed on. So that is what is happening in Venezuela as we speak. 3 dead after Colombia landslide. So let's see what is happening. That's Latin America. 3 people have died and 32 have been injured after a mudslide swept through the town of Corinto in Colombia's southwest Cauca province. The emergency workers said the La Pala River burst its banks and swept mud boulders and branches through the town center. More than 200 families in the town are affected and thousands of people have been evacuated. We just hope the emergency services, the scenes, wow. Listeners, I wish I can bring you some pictures. The scenes are not that good. Bridges swept out, rivers almost covered, houses buried. That is not good news. President Juan Manuel Santos and firefighters have been deployed. Firefighters have been deployed from the city of Cali to help residents of affected areas. He added that humanitarian aid will be provided and the scale of damage will be assessed. So let's hope that the government intervenes and is able to help, especially the vulnerable over there. We're going to be jumping straight to the continent of Africa right now. I was going to bring you one news item from Jamaica. Let me see that beautiful land. That beautiful land of Jamaica. Let me see if I've not lost the news item. It's an important news item that I was going to bring you. What IMF praises Jamaica. Yes, that's the news. Says Kingston, Jamaica, that International Monetary Fund has given high marks for Jamaica's performance under standby arrangement, that's SBA, with the fund, saying commitment to meet economic reform program remains strong, with economic indicators at historic high, supervised by favorable macroeconomic condition. In a recent release, the fund said the historical low yields in the recent global bond responding reflect Jamaica's hard-won credibility. After more than 4 years of difficult economic reform, Jamaican program implementation remained exemplary. I do have a bit of issues on this, and I do know a lot of people, a lot of you might also have stance on this. I recall that in the 1980s, the position of the IMF on Ghana, for instance, is the same position that they've taken when it comes to Jamaica today, praising them the darling of the world and do all kind of stuff. But we do know that nothing good came out of that. I mean, strata adjustment got us a bit of resource, but the cost, the human cost, when it comes to job losses, when it comes to how the vulnerable suffered, it's something that a lot of people have very, very bad stories to tell. Now, the IMF objectives in some of these countries, for me, our leaders need to question them. And I've kept on saying that IMF cannot point to one country, one single country that they've helped develop. No, I don't know. I want to be educated. One single country that the IMF has helped develop. There's a difference between giving development assistance, giving loans, giving assistance, but when most of them come with conditions. The last government of Ghana, we had another frame that was introduced into development politics called homegrown policies. When in fact, most of those policies are actually something that have been put together because the World Bank has told them, let's do it this way, and then we will. It's just like you asking, I am your lender, I need some facilities from you. I model my application according to what you want. That doesn't mean that, yes, because I've typed them, pulled them together, they technically become a policy that I own. That's the front, but we know that in reality, IMF conditionalities were in place. They were in place. They'll tell you, well, they are homegrown policies. To what extent do they differ? Don't forget, IMF and these development partners have changed their position. I know exactly what I'm talking about because my background is from that area. I know exactly what I'm talking about. They've moved their position from what they now term participatory development, where they want the locals themselves to be engaged so that psychologically we think the decisions that are coming are actually our own. When in reality, you ask yourself, how many of these people, focus group discussion that takes place, how many of what is discussed at the local level ends up becoming what is implemented? I recall when I was working for DFID, one approach that DFID uses, which I do respect and I wish could be adopted, is the issue of how policies are formulated. When we go trying to get up information, we engage people, we bring them to a policy forum, people who are interested in trade, like Kofi, for instance, if he's interested in the unity of ECOWAS and he wants to see certain things change, that is brilliant. What we do, we bring the lines of him together and then they debate on exactly the kind of union that ECOWAS should be looking for, the kind of currency. Should it be currency that affects and enable the whole of Africa to trade amongst itself, or we should look at a currency that only works for ECOWAS? Kofi is passionate about what works for ECOWAS. Others might be passionate about what works for the whole of Africa. Such debate must be allowed to take place within a policy formulation sector. They come out after a debate, they come with their conclusion, and such are voted for, and whatever emerges as a prime or the winner becomes part of the policies that DFID carries. I think it's a one strong way of formulating policies from the bottom up, and I do hope that some of this our countries will start looking at it, not just to go engage in the with the people like the way a lot of development partners do now, what can be termed participatory democracy, participatory policy discussion. We go and ask questions, talk to them, we claim, we document on videos and others that we have actually engaged the people, consulted the people, when in reality what they are saying, we are not taking it. We've just gone to listen to them, but we are determined to implement exactly what we want to implement as their leaders. So I do hope Jamaicans will read more meaning into what IMF is saying. You're gonna look at human index, the misery index, which they don't want to talk about. So when inflation and interest rate figures are going positive, what impact is it having on the poor woman, the pupil, someone who has to go to the school today? What is it happening on the doctors, the nurses? So yes, we'll be implementing policies that fits into IMF and the World Bank way of working. Don't forget, those who put money into IMF and are mostly capitalist oriented, and therefore they're looking for open markets that will not have consideration to a large extent for the vulnerable in a society. So I just do hope that when some of this our countries are looking at policies like this, recommendations like this, and they are looking at people talking inflation, looking at people talking interest figures and other things, they are also able to tell us what the human misery index is. How many people are going a day without 3 square meals? How many people are walking more than 1 mile to the nearest school? How many people are now jobless? So we need to be looking at such index before we can say, from my point of view and in my opinion, what IMF is saying is the actual and the true picture of the situation that pertains in Jamaica. let's quickly now move to the beautiful continent of Africa. Africa, on the land. Right. And Francina, a good afternoon to you once again. This is coming from Congo. And it said, Dr. Congo's Kavumu child rape trial opens. We've been talking about sexual harassment and other things. And we've also gone to US to hear where a Senate, someone who is trying to contest the Senate, is now being accused of actually violating someone who was 14 years at the time. Not proven though, it's just an allegation. We'll look at it. Some of the victims from the village of Kavumu were just 18 months old. The men allegedly targeted young girls between 2013 and 2016 because a spiritual advisor told them that their blood will grant them supernatural protection. The alleged militia leader, Frederick Batumeke, a provisional legislator, and the other defenders deny the charges. Rights groups hope the trial will help to end the culture of rape as a tool of war in Democratic Republic of Congo, which is actually now going through a lot because the election could not take place with the excuse that money was not available. And as we speak, we are heading towards a civil war if we are not lucky. The start of the trial is a strong signal in the fight against impunity. Activists have said, an activist representing the victims. Proceedings started 10, that's today, 20 minutes, okay, that's yesterday. Advocates have told Reuters that the case has been particularly difficult to investigate because the victims were so young. Well, that's a difficult one, where rape and but again, it raises the question how spiritualists, prophets, pastors, and others are allowed to operate sometimes without checks. I ask myself, because the spiritualist has told you, well, if that's what you believe in, you look into the eyes of an 18-month-old baby and rape her. I just do believe if they found guilty, they are actually dealt with without mercy. They are actually dealt with without mercy to send a signal, a very, very strong signal to others that you cannot engage in such barbaric acts and then go scot-free. Right, let's proceed. Kenyan women in court over plastic ban. A Kenyan woman has appeared in court for contravening the law banning the use of plastic bags. A trader in central Kenya is facing charges of being in possession of 17 plastic bags. She was released on bail for 2 million Kenyan shillings. That is $10,000. Her brother, said, acted the guarantor by deposing a land title deed for. Okay, so Kenya has banned the use of plastic bags, and therefore this lady is being punished for actually in possession of 17 plastic bags. Mr. Kenya witness arrested. A Kenyan man who has puzzled many for days after he gave witness account to 2 fatal accidents in 2 different parts of the country has been arrested for impersonating a police officer, local media report. A journalist shared a picture of Dennis who got 2 appearances on local TV. Mr. Mugabe gave an interview to Citizens TV after a fatal helicopter crash on the 21st of October. At least 5 people died in the crash. He told reporters that he was a state pilot. He was again the main witness during Monday's fatal crash in Muranga, central Kenya, in which a governor died. 3 other occupants, including governor's bodyguard, sustained injuries. He told TV that He was riding in a police car when the accident happened and gave a detailed account of what he saw. So 2 accidents have happened, all resulted in fatalities, and the same person has been the one granting or giving detailed accounts of what exactly happened, and we understand he has been picked. News coming within a live few minutes says the New York-based campaign group says Tanzanian workers in Oman and the United Arab are facing abuse. This is an issue that is not only affecting the Kenyan women, Tanzanian women, but a lot of migrant workers in that part of the Arab world. Nigerian women, Ghanaian women, even Filipino women who are actually working on. One Tanzanian domestic worker told Human Rights Watch that she had to work 21 hours a day and had been sexually abused. So that's what is happening in the Arab world. Women are being raped, abused, the right trampled upon just because they've migrated over there to work. South Sudan ex-army chief released. South Sudan former army chief General Paul Malone has been released from house arrest. He was sacked in May and held in capital Juba to prevent him from launching a revolt. Local media say he's not allowed to travel to his home area of Awele in the northwest. Last week, troops surrounded his house in an attempt to disarm his bodyguards. So, well, the state is taking measures to prevent a revolt. As to why he was sacked, we do not have the details. 4 people have been taken to court for booing the Zimbabwe First Lady Grace Mugabe. Wow. You know, that booing was what was the final embarrassment to Grace, which resulted in the sacking of the vice president. We understand a rally was held where the vice president was present, but details of that will be known on Tuesday when we engage Honorable Temba Mleswa, who is actually going to be our special guest, all things being equal, on the Big Questions program. I call him the MP for the diaspora, Zimbabweans who are in the diaspora. His office is ready to take news, to help, and to investigate issues on behalf of the diasporan community over there. So, 4 people have been taken to court for booing Zimbabwe First Lady Grace Mugabe. They are facing charges of undermining the authority of the president, the Herald said. They called her that they allegedly sang and made gestures at a rally for the governing ZANU-PF party last Saturday. Wow. So those of you who boo your presidents sometimes go on radio to insult them. They are saying, Nigeria, I don't think they can do that. Ghana, I don't think they can do that. So what is happening in the beautiful country of Zimbabwe? Freedom of speech. Must people and should people be arrested just because they are booing a president or the first lady? Wow. Africa. All right. Right, let's go for this. Oscar-winning Kenyan actress Laputo has tweeted that UK magazine Grazia has edited out and smoothed her hair to fit what she said is Eurocentric. You will recall a few weeks ago we had a backlash where Nivea actually was advertising skin toning creams, and people like Fuse ODG and others had to take to Twitter and actually cry foul that, listen, this is our skin. This is the skin of a black man and a black woman. Why are you advising us to go and tone our skin to become Europeans? For them, it's racism. A related development that is coming where we have a magazine, Grazia, which has actually edited the hairdo and the hair texture. Everything about the woman has been edited to look like an European, and she is not happy with that. She's not happy with that. If you compare the pictures that she sent to them, that we can see, and you look at what they actually put on a magazine, there's a stark difference. Even her skin has been airbrushed, made light. Her hair, in particular, has actually been changed. Listen, I'm going to try and post a picture on our Facebook link so that you can look at it yourself and know exactly what we're talking about. And she's very furious. She's very, very angry. For those of you who are watching us on our Facebook link, that picture will be appearing in the very next 2 minutes on your timelines, and you can share. So that's exactly what she's angry about, and I do quite agree with her, side with her, that such practices are total disrespect for the black woman and the black man, and should not be tolerated. So that picture is now on our timeline, and I'm going to share it on our page as well, so that you listeners following us can actually see what is happening and what we're actually talking about here. So thank you once again for tuning in. We're going to go for a quick music break, and when we return, we're going to continue our program, where we'll run the next 28 minutes to the end of the program. Right, I want to play you a very beautiful song, and this one is going to come from Congo area. It's music that I know you enjoy. It's coming from Congo. Let me see. Where's my soundtrack? Okay, here we go. Enjoy it. It's a song that I know a lot of you will enjoy it. I'll be right back.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. This is Starr Radio UK.
Life Family Ministries, Croydon, invites you, your friends, and loved ones to our annual 3 weeks Fresh Fire Conference 2017. The theme is Let the Fire Fall. Our key scripture is 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 21 to 39. From Monday 30th of October to Sunday 19th of October. The time is from Monday to Saturday 6:30 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. and Sundays 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Our venue is the Dream Center, 68 Windmill Road, Croydon, CR02XP. Our speakers include host Apostle and Reverend Mrs. Bruce, Dr. Charles Tamaklo, Apostle Anthony O. Banahini, Pastor Julius Darke, and a lot more. Come for the flame of our destiny and get ready for the fresh fire, word, and oil.
Freedom Church London presents the Freedom Hour every Saturday at 3 p.m. on Star Radio UK with Sister Sarah. Do make a date with us and your life will never be the same. Remember to tell a friend to also invite a friend. The Freedom Hour, setting you free for life.
Right, just a quick announcement. Grace Belafonte live concert and ministry launch date the 18th of November, which is next week. That's Saturday the 18th of November next week. Time 5 p.m. Doors are open. Show starts at 6 p.m. sharp. The venue is Liberty Christian Fellowship, Camberwell, London, SE57ST. The featuring artist, Grace will be there herself. We have Nadine Ingan from Switzerland. She will be there. And we also have Nanette Wetu. We have Jane Busia. We have Didi. We have Nelly Nguesan and Rima Praise. Official sponsors. We're part of the official sponsors. Tickets are £12 on Eventbrite and £15 at the door. Children under 12 is £5. 10% of the proceeds go to African Child Trust and St. Francis Hospices to support a good cause. I think that's a cause that we will urge you to support. Grace Belafonte live concert and ministry launch. She's a powerful lady. I've seen her perform on stage live, and my God, you can't sit down when she's on the stage. So please try and get yourself tickets. If you need more further information, let me give you the number to call. You can actually call 079-8353-7072, or alternatively you can also call 077-34-390-251. You can call them. Please do call and make a date to go and support a very, very good cause. If you have a program, you have something you're doing and you want us to know about it, or you want the public to know about it, contact us. We might be able to help out in terms of promoting it. Yes, we've received your emails as well. I think we've been invited to a program. Monday we'll let you know exactly what that program is. But tomorrow, don't forget, 3 o'clock exactly. First, it starts from 10 o'clock. We're going to have a conscious hour which comes with reggae from 5 a.m. right down to 10 a.m. all reggae music. So for those of you who are conscious loving and love reggae, reggae is not about someone said it's not about having a dress, it's something with the heart. So if you love reggae music, join our DJ tomorrow exactly at 5 a.m. to 10 o'clock. I tell you what, you can't sleep. It's vibration all through. And our 10 o'clock in tune breakfast comes your way with 4 ends, where she discussed and touch on gossip issues among the celebrities. It's more of a celebrity program that you want to have or you want to listen to. 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we bring you a live broadcast from GFMC. There's a conference that is going on. We specialize in outside broadcast. So if you have an event somewhere and you want us to broadcast it, let us know. We will arrange and broadcast it from wherever you are. Even if you're in space, we should be able to do that. So tomorrow is actually 12 o'clock, just after the In Tune Breakfast Show. We're going to bring you the JJMCF conference live, which is taking place in London. So just make sure you tune in tomorrow. You don't go anywhere. That program is going to come your way. The global, the GCMF conference is taking place, and tomorrow we're going to be bringing it to you under the leadership of Apostle Hendrik Bruce. Tomorrow from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, that program is going to come your way live on Star Radio. And just at 3 o'clock, Sister Sarah will join us with the Freedom Hour. 4 o'clock, Captain Tete will be joining us, or will bringing you the My Journey. At 6 o'clock, Kojo, the team from Family Enrichment Programs will be in-house. And at 8 o'clock, we have Kojo Dake with the Inside Africa program. 9:30, we have Bed of Roses. And tomorrow, we have a packed house. We have guests joining from the U.S. and other guests, including Prophet Everett, all being in-house tomorrow. So it's going to be a busy day. Our Saturdays, they're going to be busy from 5 a.m. right down to 12 midnight. Someone is here entertaining you and educating you as well. I hope you make a date. If you've not downloaded our app yet, please, this is an opportunity to do so, and subscribe to all our broadcasts on Facebook and YouTube and all other platforms that okay, now let's touch on the rest of Africa, and quickly we settle down on Ghana. With finish with the East and the Southern Africa. Let's see what is happening in the western part of Africa, where Kofi want to ask to concentrate on always, but Kofi, practically that is not going to be possible. That will be doing very great service to other equally important news items. Okay, we've taken from Nigeria, so we're going to skip Nigeria. We're not going to go to Nigeria. We've had a reporter from Nigeria, and like I told you, very soon we're going to be having a reporter from Sierra Leone who will be giving us live read from Sierra Leone as well, and I hope it's going to be a good program. Anyway, let me quickly go to this very important one from Burundi, and then we'll come to us. ICC to probe alleged crimes in Burundi. The International Criminal Court at the Hague has authorized prosecutors to open a full investigation of crimes against humanity in Burundi. Judges said there was reasonable basis to investigate offenses including murder and torture allegedly committed by government and government-linked troops. So that is what. Okay, when is the AU? When is the Hague going to investigate what is happening in Burma? When are they going to do that? Listen, anything that has happened, human rights abuses should not be tolerated. Should not be tolerated at all. And therefore, if abuses are taking place in Burundi, it should be investigated, and people who are found guilty, capable of doing all this, and should be punished. But I'm wondering, why is it that Hague so much over concentrate on Africa? I just can't get it. Someone should help me out. I really do not understand it. Well, it could be me alone, but I think in my view, the concentration on Africa is just too much. You know, when it's happening in other parts of the world, they keep quiet about it. But when it comes to Africa, they're quick. Why? Because we can't stand up and speak for ourselves? Is that a problem? And is that the issue? Well, that is the issue. I don't know. But for me, it looks like a bit troubling. Let me read. Dion, is it Dion? Or let me check the name again. Has posted a comment which I do 100% agree with. She is saying, let me see. Well, where's my news item? She posted a news item or a comment on a news item which I kind of agree with, having to do with the human hair, having to do with how women go about buying Hey, let me just check that comment because it would not be right if I do not read that comment. I saw it and it was important comment, and I think it's just good that I read that comment to for each and every one of you who is following. I do accept. Bear with me. I'm just trying to get the comment. I think it's a very important comment. Whoa, right. They're getting it for me because I seems not to actually get it on my device. So, but they will not get it for me. But what she was trying to say was to advise the women to stop bleaching and buying all these creams that tone the skin and others. I want women to come and tell me, why do you bleach and tone? And this whole debate about the hair, we are told over $1.3 billion is spent on hair products alone each year, and most of these products are not produced in any of our countries. So to what extent are we contributing to undermining the growth of our country? Anyway, let me move straight to Ghana. We got 10 minutes to go, and I'm just going to rush through these news items that are making headlines. It said blows over NDC unity, hijacked unity walk. The hijacking of the so-called unity walk of the National Democratic Club and Cape Coast in the Central Region last Sunday by members of parties supposedly loyal to former President Rawlings is causing uneasy calm in the opposition political grouping. That's according to Daily Guide. Humble question. The former envoy posted, we have been given a letter from a former envoy to Dubai who actually wrote, Mr. Honorable Daniel Osai wrote a letter, and I think today will not be the best time to read that letter. I wish on Tuesday when we had the NDC executive in-house, we had received that letter, because those were some of the questions would have posed to him, because it actually spoils a lot about the division in the MPP. In the NDC, in a related development, we have 10 regional chairmen regional chairman of the NDC, namely Adekuka of the Greater Accra, Michael Edu Western Region, Alhaji Mumuni Bulnaba of Upper East, John K. Japan of Volta, Opoku Atwa Hene Brona Hafu. We have Matthew Song Ebo Upper West, and then Bismarck Tewia Boatin Eastern Region, and Yao Obimpe of Ashanti, issuing a letter that they are calling on the president, the former president, to embark on a thank you tour, and also basically saying that they are endorsing him for a rerun of election. This, we understand, is causing a lot of uneasiness within the largest opposition party in Ghana. As to whether this is going to help the party going forward, we yet to see. But we need a strong opposition to put the government in power in check. Now, we also understand that in Ghana, the parliament has summoned the Minister for Interior for the killing of 2 armed robbers. So the minister has been summoned to parliament to answer questions what led to the killing, instant justice of 2 armed robbers. Some people disagree, will tell you that, well, the robber deserve, instant justice, but we do not know. And also, court has also summoned the pathologist who conducted the autopsy on Mr. J.B. Dankwa Edu to appear before it on the MP, the sitting MP for MPP, was murdered in his house a few years ago. I think that was 2000 in October. Was it in October last? No, it was not last year. Last 2 years or so. And this case has been going on and we understand that the witness or the person who conducted the pathological examination on him has been summoned to appear before the court. I pray that this issue comes to an end quickly so that the families could have some rest and some peace. Now, doctors refuse to hand over baby born by psychiatric patient to social welfare. Officers of the social welfare department in the central region have clashed with the embattled director of Ankomfo Psychiatric Hospital, Dr. Eugene Dodoi, over the later decision to hand over a baby of a mental patient to a woman for AKIP rather than the social service department. Well, this is an issue that, again, it has to do with consent issue. This is a lady who's mentally unstable. Someone impregnated her. Thankfully, a baby has been birthed. Now, the custody of that baby is what is in the center of the clash now. We're told that the director of the Department of Social Affairs, Mr. Dangwa, said he is disappointed at the decision by the doctor to release the child to a supposed good Samaritan because the department will handle such actions better. Well, who is this good Samaritan? Do the family of the woman who is mentally not suffering a bit of instability in the mind, do they know about this development or the consent of the family, the extended family? I mean, we know the dad cannot be traced, whether the person is also suffering or whether the person is someone who took advantage and undue advantage of mentally, the right person and impregnated her. We do not know details about that. But what is at stake now is about a child's life. A child's life. If you are handing over the baby to a good Samaritan, who is this good Samaritan? Is the hospital the actual or the right authority to conduct some of these checks on the good Samaritan? One would have thought that the Department of Social Welfare should be in a better position to handle that, so that they can conduct their investigation, their checks, and if they find, we have adoption processes, if they find that the woman who is actually coming forward to accept the baby is interested, I think the right checks will be done before the baby is handed over to her. But in this case, the baby has been handed over to the lady by the doctors, which in my view are not legally entitled or required to do that. I think the welfare minister should actually step in and have a look at this. They should have a look at it. Now, school feeding coordinators trade insult over Nabu and Otego. My appeal to the MPP administration, whatever is going on to this case, is actually setting back improvement that has been made in terms of feeding. We know before NDC took over power, there were 400,000 people that were being fed across board. By the time they left off it last year, over 1.7 people are now being occupied, be covered on a daily basis with this program. Government has stepped up its effort to fund this program, and now what we are witnessing in the northern part of Ghana, for me, is a total embarrassment, total disgrace, unacceptable, and whatever it is, the internal battle that is raging between the welfare minister, who actually happens to be directly in charge of that department, and the regional chairman of MPP, should not derail or should not affect the review of service to people who need them. If not, then we ask that the minister step aside until she finishes sorting out her internal wrangling, whatever is going on with her regional chairman, so that people who actually need the service can actually benefit from it. Excuse my my language. Let me take the final news item from Ghana, and then we will be right. We are told, or news item coming in says that the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of Ghana Police Services, it will now be able to arrest in real time offenders of Trade Traffic Act and prosecute them with introduction of smart driver license. The director says the MTTD will interface its operation system with automated smart vehicle recognition and license systems to enhance their operations without physically being present on the road to check abuses of regulators. This means that police will no longer physically be on the checkpoint. They're trying to use advanced system to be able to do that. Well, that is good, but over here we still see the police on the roads, so we hope that they will not go and put cameras there and then go back and sleep without working. We know some people will be very happy with this because one, it will reduce the bribery that is that people take. We have some videos that have been sent to us where police officers were taking bribe on the scene. So at the end of the day, it's a good move. Listeners, time check from our studio is exactly 1 o'clock, where we bring the program to a close. But whatever it is, we wish you a very, very great weekend. But do not forget, from now, we're going to be having our DJs taking over to bring you the music, the best of the music, music that will entertain and usher you into a good weekend. And from tomorrow, from 5 a.m., don't forget to join us from the reggae down all the way to where we bring you the Bed of Roses at exactly 9:30 to 11:30. Wherever you are, I say good afternoon, good morning to you, and I wish you all the best for the week. But before I leave you, let me bring you once again these announcements, and we will call it a day. Grace Belafonte Ministries lunch. Please try and get yourself a ticket. It's only £15, but £12 if you go to Eventbrite today and right now and get yourself a ticket. Once again, I say good afternoon, and this is where we end the show.
The coolest way to start your weekend.
Playing the tunes you used to love. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Manje bakura, manje boni kwandi okele. Betani. Okewa mami nekeno, ni wasmo wa nekeno. Manje boni kwandi okele. Bojoni. Manje beta kwani. Manje 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 bojoni. Inele beta kwani. Manje bojoni. Ike beta kwani. Ike bojoni. Manje beta kwani.
You're listening to your favorite DJ. You're listening to your favorite DJ.
While the others keep on talking, we keep on rocking.